Hey, 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 hey. Gotta tell my people here. Hello, hello, hello. Punkette. Punkette, I was just thinking about how you got me that chair that one time. And my daughter actually stole it from me. So I'm like sitting in another chair and I was just thinking how I need to go steal it back from her. Are you home now? It keeps telling me I keep having a Facebook message, but I can't find it anywhere. You're not home? Oh, you are home. Okay, good. I realized that on my live, I had put that I was going live the 12th. My days are all messed up, but the 12th is actually was yesterday. Your what does that all the time? Oh, I know. I'm like randomly trying to find a message. But if you're here, say hi if you can, chat. I know it's been a few days, but I'm on a little bit of a lag. So where my office is right now in the house is we're finishing up my office, but we're waiting for it to get warm enough because we have to insulate it and stuff. So right now I have a massive walk-in closet. So my office space is in like this huge walk-in closet, which I actually kind of like it. But sometimes the lag is bad. So we'll see how this works. Luann, how you doing? The Harry Potter closet. I know. I was walking around my house today just thinking, oh my goodness, do you guys know? I want to tell you guys a story before we move on, because this is going to be like, this is a Parker thing right here. When we bought this house, I never went inside of it. Like I saw it from the outside. I thought, I looked at the pictures and I thought, we're never going to be able to afford that house. We met a realtor at a different home. And the home was like so bad. I'm going to tell you the story. The home was so bad. It was awful. Oh my goodness. It was going to take so much money to even get in the house. So I said to the realtor, like, well, the house I love will never be able to afford. So I just, just whatever, forget it. But then that night, my grandpa died. And so we kind of forgot it. Like that was our forefront of our mind. So we forgot about that. Then my husband said, like 3 days later, there was an accident. They weren't supposed to run our credit to check a mortgage, but they did somehow. And it was this huge thing. So my husband calls and said, okay, somehow they weren't supposed to run our mortgage credit, all that stuff, but it came back that we would have enough, right? We would have enough to buy this house, this dream house that I wanted, if they would go below asking price. And with the market the way it is right now, we thought, never going to happen. Like it's never going to happen. So we put an offer in and I was like, they're going to come back with something higher. And they came back under asking price and was like, okay, we just like, it was like $2,000 more than what we offered, which was fine. But they came in under, which almost never happens. And so we just pulled the trigger. We were like, I can't even believe this. And so that's the story of how we got in this house. But all I had ever seen with the pictures, and things moved so fast that my husband is the only one that saw it before he moved in. And so when we moved in, my realtor was like, this is the first time a wife has not seen a house before that I've ever been in business, that a wife has not seen the house before she moved in. So, and my husband just kept saying, if you don't like this house, like he signed all the papers and everything. He's like, if you don't like this house, like we own it. He was so stressed about it. And I said, nope, I trust your judgment. Yep. And so we moved in, but we moved in November. So it was winter. And then I realized I have not ever been in the backyard of my own home. And so today it was nice out. So I went in the backyard and I was like, this is amazing. My yard is huge. And I was like noticing trees I didn't know before. And I was like, I have an apple tree. And there's all these things I didn't know before. So anyways, that's my kind of weird story about how I moved into our home. And yeah, I could not be more happy with the house we bought, but it was definitely a trust. Hey, Sarah, good to see you too. So we're going to talk a little bit about Sebastian. There's not a lot of updates there. Amber just sent me a video though of Nick. I can never say his last names, Barisi or something. He actually has been the one he's local news coverage, and he's been just like following this case night and day. So he released, I'm going to share this with you. If you don't know the story of Sebastian, why can't I see the comments? There we go. I turned off the comments. Sebastian is the 15-year-old autistic child that went missing from his home somewhere between 11 and 6. It's assumed 11 and 6 on Sunday night into Monday before school. No one knows where he is. Mom and stepdad, obviously, there's some things that people are going, Dad has come forward a couple times for interviews, but, nothing new at all. So obviously Dad shares a little different version of Sebastian than mom and stepdad. I don't know. But Nick shared security footage just a while ago that had not been released yet, to my knowledge, and he's going to share more of it tomorrow. So apparently, let me just check with Amber. This is from what I've heard. Oh yeah, how about I share you instead of just sharing it to me? So the bio dad, to me, I have zero red flags for the bio dad. I think he doesn't even live close. I think that why is it not letting me share? I think that that's weird. Oh, I know why. Okay, one second. I think that he's just not around a ton. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, guys. I have to open this with this browser here. I just don't suspect him. This other case we're going to dive into is pretty wild too. I am really in a rabbit hole of this. So let me verify with Amber. Okay, I'm going to share this to you. I've listened to a medium psychic. Really, Luann? Very cool. All right. Where's my Zoomer mom and some of my regs? All right, so this is security footage. So apparently this is home security camera footage. Let me go back to the beginning. Everybody stop. So I'm guessing this is the house, subject 1, subject 2. So he's going to meet somebody. Well, this is interesting. Where is Amber? I need her. So I'm going to guess the big over here, the big white is the house, maybe? And this was the other person, and this is the subject. Whoa. So what do you all think? I'm thinking, to me, that video shows that. So to me, that's showing that, he would, I believe that, I mean, what do you guys think? I believe that he was going towards somebody. I think whoever he was going towards, he knows. I think so. Full timeline of stepdad. So it was verified from my knowledge. I believe it was verified that stepdad was, his job was gone. Phone pings, I don't know. Mom, somebody said they saw mom and Sebastian out for dinner Sunday night. And the thing is, we know that stepdad was at work. So I know it's like 3.5 hours away. So I guess I don't fully think that stepdad would leave for work and then come back in the middle of the night make him disappear, then go back in the morning. I don't know if there would have been enough time. I think whoever he was going to, he knows or was expecting. I don't know. Unless I'm just reading this totally wrong. Let's look at some of the comments. There's only like 4, but a daylight shot giving a frame of reference. Well, yeah, obviously a daylight. Maybe he saw a light in the backyard, grab his flashlight. So there is some people that are saying that he did have his flashlight with him, but I don't know that that's ever been confirmed. I believe that his flashlight was something he did have on him and it was missing. So a biological father said he would never go outside without shoes on, which we pretty knew because he had stepped in a pile of ants, which we did know when he was younger. So the other thing that's interesting, subject 1, person, something there. Subject 2, clearly moving away from the house. That's wild. Holy cow. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't really say how trusting he was of people. Being an autistic boy, so one thing I did find was interesting. So they found his scent stops around the house, which means we all know he probably left in a vehicle of some sort. But I found it interesting that the garage is attached to the house. So that's one thing. So he could have left out the garage, but being an autistic child, I would think that he would have had to really trust who he was going to in that picture. I don't know where he met, maybe he met somebody. I know his parents say that, his stepdad and mom say that, well, he's never online, yada, yada, yada. He doesn't have any friends. But then the other dad, I think bio dad is a little more lenient with him. Oh, thank you, KNS. 2 individual with lights walking in a common area. Okay. Really? Wow. Thank you, KNS. Wow. I imagine, pointer lover, I imagine there's going to be a lot more about this out tomorrow because I know it was just a brief glimpse and that Nick said he was going to, according to Amber, she's been my detective on this case, because she's local, that he was going to, do a more thorough update tomorrow when he's had time to review the full video. So KNS, just help me better understand because I'm like blind to what I'm looking at. Hey, you should have just gone to the game, Chris. One of my favorite names on YouTube. So KNS, can you help me understand better? So there's 2 individuals right there, like subject 1 and subject 2. And so they're actually together, just walking like in a common area, both with flashlights. Thanks, pointer lover. So it has to have been somebody, if that's the case, I just believe that has to have been somebody that he's met along the way, that he trusted. And I'm not saying that, autistic kids can't be trusting, but it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. He did? Is it right on the, here, let me Google it for a second, guys. Okay. This is going to be kind of a long live because I have this other case that I'm really, really hitting home. We know that they searched the landfill and nothing came up. Of course, it's not coming up for me. Yeah, give us your knowledge, KNS, because I can't see the video or the wild. KNS, do you know if this is their home security vision? Let me see if I can see this here. Yep. No pointer lover. So no, that we don't know that it was him, but there's a pretty good indication. I'm just going to go to this article that Amber just sent to me, and that I'm just going to read it to you guys. Okay, well, never mind it. No wonder I can't see. I'm not following this guy, and he's really great. Nick Berries. He's fantastic. He's been great with this. Okay. Focus, Parker. Focus. Okay, Nick. He has been classy. Okay, here's what he wrote. KNS, I'm so glad you're here. This is why people might not think I'm a good, because like I think I like investigating. Like you guys don't want to just come on here and hear me spit details at you. Like to a point you do, but you guys know a lot, so you have a lot of knowledge in that. What Unagi or whatever that Friends episode is. Okay, so Nick obtained this video, which is an exclusive video confirmed is part of the investigative, is part of the investigation file. So that means that they are using this. So that's a good implication that this is something. It appears to show two people near Sebastian's home the night that the 15-year-old disappeared more than 2 weeks ago. Holy cow, that's huge. That's huge. There is no timestamp on the copy that Nick obtained, but he's told that the video is from around 3:30 a.m. Y'all, that blows. That is, holy cow. That is. So if mom let's say mom's story is accurate, last saw Sebastian at 11 o'clock, she went to bed. So that's the thing, y'all. If Sebastian really, if mom did stuff to Sebastian, why, Amber, there's my girl. Why wait till 3:30 a.m. to take him outside with two flashlights? So to me, this might clear mom. The video is authentic. I mean, if this video is from 3:30, this is crazy. Yeah, I mean, she must be a very deep sleeper. Unfortunately, there's not much to see in the pitch black to me. I mean, there's something's better than nothing. Other than two specks of light moving in the area near Sebastian's Hendersonville home. It is believed that Sebastian left home barefoot and with a flashlight, likely between midnight and 6 a.m. The video is significant because it shows activity around Sebastian's home the night he vanished. Holy cow. KNS, I know. Oh, I know you should have gone to the game, Chris. So it says, this is a very brief clip. We've seen it. Appears to show two individuals with lights walking in the common area. We can see the light sources are in the middle of the circles, which he pointed out, subject 1 and subject 2. One light suddenly goes out or is obscured. Let's check that out. Man, this is huge. Okay. Subject 1, subject 2. Man, I'd love to get Nick on here. He's incredible. Whoa. It does. Subject 2, guys. Watch subject 2. I feel like I'm 10-4. Watch subject 2. Right here. Subject 2. It's right here. Light gone. Wow. Oh, you should have gone to the game. I know. The other stays put and waiting. So I would say maybe Sebastian's light went off, and that I can't, I can't say that, but the other stays put waiting. There's more. You cannot see any bodies, but just small lights, which, by the way, they are moving appear to be carried by individuals. I think that's pretty clear. For point of reference, the security camera was pointing toward the back of Sebastian's home in a common area. So that's, wow. So the back. Wow. So that, there goes my theory of the driveway. Okay, so I'll keep going. The other lighting you see is from a nearby home floodlight, but it is very dark. There are no street lights in the neighborhood. Very interesting. The back doesn't have, and now that I think about it, like the way my brother's house is, he doesn't live in Tennessee, but I was thinking, because like in the front, you always have the street lights, but when they have like the alleys or the back, oftentimes they don't have the street lights. So no street lights back there. I think that's pretty, we need to remember that I don't think it was just like coincidence that they're out back where there's no street lights. Nick just says, I'm still in the process of reviewing the entire video, which shows much more. I will have the full video and an exclusive story on Thursday on News Channel 5. So we need to make sure we watch that. Important to note, he does say this, sources tell me this video could mean absolutely nothing. I mean, yeah, it could. Really, Amber, it could mean nothing, but I mean, it's an odd time for two subjects to be out walking with flashlights in a common area behind the kid's house that disappears. Again, said it could just be somebody out for a late night walk. Okay. You can't identify it. But again, this is the only video so far showing any type of activity in the neighborhood the night Sebastian disappeared. I'm told at this time there's not much for investigators to take away from the video, but it is now part of Sebastian's missing person file, and it could become more significant depending on where the investigation leads. I know, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be nothing, but what are the odds that in a common area directly behind the boy's house? But then we've also got to think of something else. I guess it doesn't exclude mom. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. If it is them, like, I guess maybe somebody went out of the house with Sebastian. I don't know. Something is weird. I just don't. Yeah, right. Pointer lover. If it is nothing and the people were out on a late night walk, they need to come forward. Yeah, late night walk down a street with no street lights. Let's hop where there's no street lights in the common area, and we'll just walk down there. Hey, Zoomer mom. Right, exactly, Amber. And if it is correct that this video was taken at 3:30 a.m., I don't know. I'm lost. Let's say it was 3:30 a.m. and stepdad made it to work the next day in time for work. I mean, I think that pretty much eliminates him if the time is correct. It's just crazy. It was 34 out. So, right, that's the other thing you have to remember is he left barefoot. And I don't understand that part. Right, Luann. So, Amber, explain this to me. The common area behind your house in Tennessee. I'm sorry if I just doxed you. I didn't tell you where in Tennessee. I didn't tell him where in Tennessee. But, so, is it drivable? Or is it just like like you can walk in it, but there's no cars back there? Or I do find it interesting that the one light subject to the light goes out completely. The only reason I think that maybe somebody said, turn off your light, turn out your light, I've got one or something. I wonder if there's a walking path. It's not drivable. Okay. Well, so I wondered too if subject 1. So in my opinion, my novice opinion. Okay, so let's say subject 2 we see walking towards subject 1. I almost wondered if they both have flashlights, and the flashlight was, and then no, this is way out, the flashlight was his signal to come out. So he sees a flashlight, grabs his flashlight, comes out, gets close to whoever subject 1 is. Subject 1 says, hey, turn off your light. I've got mine. And they turn off their light. If I had to say something about that video, that's what I would think, like that subject 2 was coming towards subject 1. I don't even know what their street name is, or I'd look at, I can never be a cop, but I can imagine how many. Oh, I know. None of it makes sense. 34 degrees. He comes outside with no shoes on. Clearly with his flashlight. I feel like if that is him with his flashlight, then he knew whoever he was going to. I don't know. Give me your opinion, guys. KNS, people that have followed this case. What do you think? Who do you think it is? Like what? I mean, what do you think? You think subject 2 is walking to subject 1? Do you think that it's just somebody out for a casual walk? This is the only video so far that anybody has seen anything. Keep in mind, they're on the street behind his house in the backyard. And I think on purpose, because there's no street lights, which to me says, so the garage is linked to the house. It's almost like a ranch style house, if I remember correctly. And it's hooked right to the house, but it is in the front. Yep, exactly. Luann, I know. There's somebody's not telling the truth. And I don't know if it's just a basic that mom wants you to think that they were good parents, and she's worried if people aren't going to think they're good parents. So they're saying that, they had all these restrictions on games, but really when he went, he was playing games and talking to people, or that he went to dad's and was, on video games talking to people. I don't know. There's no other explanation in my mind. Right, pointer lover. If he did wander away, why wouldn't he be? You would think he would have been seen on someone's. And I don't feel he would have gone out of the back where there was no lights, because it sounded like he kept a flashlight because he was quite scared of the dark. And I don't know that for sure, but from my understanding, I read an article somewhere. That's true, KNS, so that's a very good point. So we're going based off mom, right? That all of his shoes are accounted for. We truly have no idea if he really had shoes on or not. Or if he wandered out there to somebody and met somebody, maybe they had shoes. So, I mean, that is a very valid point. We have to, according to mom, if she's telling, right, he didn't like to get dirty. And I mean, anybody knows when you walk out in the freezing cold, and 34 is cold, with no shoes on, I mean, your feet are freezing to a point where it hurts. But the problem is I think what KNS is getting to is we really don't know, right? We're going based on what mom says happened. The flashlight and no shoes. But the other thing to keep in mind too is, so she says he had a flashlight all the time. I want to hear that from other sources. Did dad say that he had a flashlight all the time? Sebastian was supposed to start living with bio dad. So I did hear, does anyone know if there's truth to that? So I did hear that he had started making comments or wanted to live with bio dad. Does anyone know if that's true, or is that? I mean, I don't know. And I also had this thought, hey, Emily, what if mom, and this, look, there is no evidence of this. I'm trying to think of every weird scenario possible. Really, Punkette. Wow. What if mom met somebody else and he was supposed to live with bio dad? Okay, pointer lover. Yeah. That's crazy. He was supposed to. And if you listen to bio dad and stepmom and stepdad, they have a very different idea of what their relationship is, because stepdad said they talk almost every day, they're close, blah 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 blah, all of that stuff. I need to find out. I need to get in touch with Pascal and see if I can have his permission to share some of his stuff without getting struck, as long as I give him credit. So, and plus I just would love to hear his take on it. Bio dad paints a totally different picture. That, like, I mean, so when he was asked the first time we heard him do an interview, he was asked, and somebody said, have you talked to them a lot since he's gone missing? And bio dad was like, meh, not really. Maybe like I talked to him once today. Like, if you really truly have a really good relationship, you're talking with each other all the time. You know, when the kid is missing. They really had no communication. And then I remember when somebody asked bio dad, like, what they thought about stepdad and stuff, like, he just ended the conversation. Like, no. But I do too. So that actually, that pointer lover is huge. That him going to live with bio dad just tells me that things weren't as happy in the home as we might think. I think he had more freedoms at his bio dad's. I think mom was maybe a little bit of a hell. Like, I know, you know, obviously he has special needs, but almost maybe to a fault. Didn't let him be normal at all. That's crazy. I've never suspected the biological dad at all from the beginning. But I don't know, some of these things just, and I can't figure out I can't figure out if stepmom and or stepdad and mom are involved, or if they're just lying. Yeah, pointer lover. I feel like they almost suffocated him a little bit. The way dad describes Sebastian and the way his teachers describe Sebastian are not at all the way that the stepdad and mom describe Sebastian. So his teachers describe Sebastian as fits in. I mean, you see pictures of him with people. He fits in with other people. He doesn't stand out. I mean, obviously he's going to stand, but, you know, like, he's well liked and all this stuff. And then, but the way dad, stepdad, and mom describe him is that he's awkward. He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't fit in at school. So there's completely different, like, images we're getting of him. And then he doesn't play video games. He plays Minecraft. He has no social media, nothing that could possibly lead him to meeting anybody. But then when you listen to Bio Dad, it sounds like he plays lots of video games and that Bio Dad's a little more free with him. I know, Emily, it's tough. I've been a big advocate of trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, no, I don't think the Bio Dad had anything to do with it. I feel like he was high functioning and more high functioning than we were originally would have suspected. And I think that I think stepdad rules the roost. I do, because I think that we see evidence of that in their interview, because anytime that she starts talking to give an answer, he cuts her off and finishes the sentence and directs the questions in the way that he wants them to go. I don't know if that's just him being the husband and just trying to help her because she's upset, or if that's just his nature and he's the one that he is very controlling. And we do know, I mean, we can't deny that he has a past. Right, Amber. So yeah, stepdad downplayed his ability to function, said he didn't have any friends, but teachers gave a totally different. And you can't deny the pictures of kids with him at school and teachers with him at school. And yes, is he different? Sure, he's going to be different. But oftentimes kids like Sebastian and his personality are really well liked. Yeah, so I think that they probably smothered him and didn't let him do anything at all. And then that could very well be why he wanted to move with dad. And I can't imagine that if stepdad is as controlling as I believe he is, that he handled it very well. I mean, because I know his custody battle is ugly, which doesn't mean it. I mean, custody battles get ugly and stuff, but he does have a restraining order against him. You know, I mean, he can't go entirely off that kind of stuff, but I do think he had a lot more freedom with his real dad than his stepdad and his mom. I mean, it kind of sounds like outside of school, you know, his parents were all he was allowed to hang around with. And, you know, Minecraft, I mean, I guess if he was not high functioning, but it's not like your typical 15-year-old game right now, you know. I think he very well could have been on a social media platform. And because he was probably very intelligent and tech savvy, and I'm sure he could, like every other kid, finds a way oftentimes around whatever. Now, I want to ask a question, because according to Mom, he was always on Nintendo Switch, and that he had no ability, because it was Nintendo Switch, to communicate with anybody online. Does Nintendo Switch have an online platform at all? I don't have one. My daughter does, but I don't know where it is. I'm just curious. And his dad talked of them playing video games together at his house. So, I mean, I would really think that they probably did some gaming together. Standard 15-year-old Fortnite, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that'd be great, Punkat. I know, like my son, when he plays Fortnite, we make him play with the door open so that we can hear when he has his thing on. Oh, really, Amber? That's good to know. Because Mom seemed to think that because he had a Switch, he had no ability to communicate with anybody. That's very interesting. And I don't know if they're lying to try to make themselves look good so that people don't think they're bad parents, or I don't know. I can't figure it out. But we definitely have to stay up to date on that tomorrow for sure. When Nick Nick goes live and does his interview that, or does his whole dissection of that. I'm very, very interested to see what else is on that security video. So if anyone has anything more to say, we can keep talking about it. But there's another case that I came across that is really like, now it's really got me consumed. So Texas A&M Corpus Christi is obviously it's a college. So a friend of mine, this was a student of a friend of mine. His name is Caleb Harris. He's a college student and he disappeared a couple weeks ago. But everything surrounding the case is very, very odd. It's just so odd. So I'm going to post here the time. Like sister said, as long as you have friends, the gamer tag. Oh, wow. That's okay. Punkette. Wow. Okay. So this is first. Let me just show you who Caleb Harris is here. So this is Caleb Harris right here. So he went missing, I believe it was March 4th. But here is, I don't know if it'll let me show a timeline. Let me see. It should. And this will give you a better idea of who Caleb is. Window. There we go. So, okay. So this is the Texas A&M Corpus Christi student, Caleb Harris. So he disappeared from, it's called the cottages. They're like apartments for, these students. So it says at approximately 10 p.m., Caleb sent a Snapchat video showcasing to a friend, showcasing that he was his new tackle box. Where'd I go? Okay, there we go. Why can't I get back to the... Okay, so 10 p.m., Caleb sends a Snapchat video showcasing a tackle box. This is Sunday night. Around 2 a.m., Harris's roommate reported last seeing him preparing his fishing reels for a planned fishing trip before going to bed on the couch for the night. At either 2:20 or 3:20, which is a pretty big, an Uber Eats pickup was made from Stripe's store on Flower Bluff Drive, indicating Harris ordered 2 Lunchables and a Red Bull. The timestamp on the pickup from Stripes is noted as 3:20 a.m., but there could be a 1-hour discrepancy. So he goes 2 a.m. His roommate sees him. He says he's going to bed, gets on the couch. Uber Eats makes a pickup for him, Lunchables and Red Bull, which I think were probably for the next day, either class or going fishing. People said class, but then I'm like, well, it sounds like he was preparing for a fishing trip. 2:44, Harris sent another Snapchat, this time featuring a dog in the parking lot. So the dog was actually their dog. So it was Harris and his roommate's dog. So we know he's out at 2:44. Shortly after, at 2:58, Harris returned to the apartment with a dog after a walk. Okay, so let's envision 2:58. He goes inside, drops the dog off. Subsequent to 2:58, Harris's phone either turned off or died, with its last ping traced to the cottages. Notably, Harris did not have his shoes, wallet, or truck keys with him. However, his fishing poles were all accounted for, and the Uber Eats delivery was found left on the porch area. So here's some people, and we're going to read some Reddit things that have popped up. So we've got 10 o'clock, sees the roommate, all is well. No, 10 o'clock, he shows the tackle box on Snapchat, takes a picture of the tackle box. Then 2 a.m. sees the roommate. So this is what people think. So he sees the roommate at 10 a.m. I'm going to stop sharing this so I can. So he sees the roommate at 2 a.m. says goodbye, whatever. This is Sunday night going into Monday. Then he says he sent one more snap picture to everybody, like his snap story, of his dog at 2:44. So what people think is, okay, so he was walking the dog at 2:44. We know the timestamp for the Uber Eats guy was at 3:30, picking up 2 Lunchables and a Red Bull from Stripes. But now we're hearing that there could be a 1-hour discrepancy in the timestamp, which is actually really huge because that, you know. So then we are going to watch a video here of his mom and dad. But so then it says 2:44, he sends that, goes back. So people are saying, okay, so realistically, he goes back, puts the dog inside, his wallets and everything is inside, no shoes, comes outside to either get the Uber Eats or wait for the Uber Eats, and vanishes. Let's watch. I want to read a couple things off Reddit and we'll see what you guys think, and then we'll watch his parents. Because there was some good. So on Reddit, there was some actual people that so it says his father said at first there was nothing to lead them to believe that there was any danger or plan. I'm trying to get a hold of somebody to do an interview, but he said the dad, Randy, said there's just nothing that would cause us to believe he was a danger or leaving. He was in any danger or leaving because he actually ordered his food for the next day at school. And the police are saying we have not found any clues or evidence. They're using drones to search because you also have to remember where Corpus Christi is full of wetlands. So some people are comparing it to Bradley Brooks' case. I didn't see that there was that many connections, but I did see within the last year there's been a couple guys between the ages of 20 and 29 that have gone missing, and some very well. This one is a little. If you know Jason Landry's story, remember his car was found on the side of the road, disappeared. There was a boy by the name, I can't remember his last name, but Harley Morris. He went missing outside of a club in Tyler, Texas around 3 a.m. I am going to say that the one very odd connection with all of these things, that they all happened on Sunday night at 3 a.m. around 2:33 a.m. And Harley's disappearance actually just happened January 22nd. So here's some Reddit things. I'm trying to get to where. So somebody said, okay, what's odd? Somebody that knows him or is a friend of his or something. What's odd is that he planned his next day for school. He took his dog out, brought the dog back in, took his shoes off, and then went back outside. It is believed he went to get his Uber Eats or something else to make him go inside, because that's true. If he took the dog for a walk, he had shoes on. So somehow his shoes got back inside. And then he didn't return. And this person says, I know some family members, and they said this is way beyond normal behavior. Some people are saying young men disappear all the time. I get it, but then somebody said, is this? So somebody said, but the only thing is that we've got to uncover it. Did the dog walk back home, or was he actually put back in the apartment before the disappearance? So was the dog walked back home, or did somebody actually see him put the dog back before the disappearance? I mean, it would seem a really big thing would be to find out if the Uber Eats guy saw anything. Now, he didn't have his wallet, so you can most likely eliminate that he was robbed. So it says, this person says, there's a lot in this case that doesn't make sense. We went to the same high school and I know the family. There's literally no clues from the articles we've read in talking to them. Took the dog out. She said all they know is that he took the dog out at 2:45 and brought the dog back inside. He took his shoes off. His keys and wallet were also inside the house, and he only had his phone, and he left the house again around 2:58. And almost immediately after leaving, he had no shoes. His phone either died or was turned off. Now, there was some people saying, well, he could have been into drugs, and because there was a case of Bradley Brooks that people are saying he went missing because of drugs. Now, Bradley Brooks went missing, and people say some say it's because of drugs, others don't believe it's because of drugs. But where Bradley Brooks went missing was within 3 minutes of where Caleb Harris went missing. There was one other thing I really wanted to point to, and then we're going to watch the parents. Somebody said the apartment complex is next to a bay. He could have gotten in and drowned. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever, because people said it's actually not near a bay, and he had no shoes. I mean, I guess it's not uncommon to take the dog. The dog probably had to go to the bathroom. He took him out one last time. There was one. There is theories that he was trafficked. Some people, but this person said, okay, so this person I thought was interesting. The running theory in her apartment, she lives nearby, she's a college student there, is that he was trafficked or something of that nature. A crime of opportunity rather than deliberately planned. He lives right across the street from me. When I lived on campus on my first week, a couple girls were almost kidnapped. A lady pretended she had a broken down car or something to that nature, but the girls got away. I don't think my theory is out of the realm of possibilities, given my own personal experience as at the cottages. Are there any? Somebody asked if there was any cameras. Sadly, no. A few Ring doorbells, but they've not found anything useful. Let's go watch what his parents have to say. All right, let me pull this up here. Whoops, I keep doing that. I don't know how I keep. We're gonna listen to the parents' interview. I don't know. I don't think that was a student. I don't think that was a person that was going to be taken off just because he's upset or something. Man, I had a full interview with his parents. What did I do with it? Okay, let's hear what this. I think this is his parents' interview. Yeah, about Caleb Harris. You got to look it up. I mean, it's just really wild. From what he's been described, he was a really good kid. Like, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So let's just see what. I think this is the one with his parents. If I can get it to buffer. So he's been missing for.
I'm hearing different ways for me to screen for colon cancer.
It's time to use my voice. I've got a choice, or they won't answer.
I sat down with my doc.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys.
Just what to say.
I asked for Cologuard and did it my way.
Cologuard is a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive. It's for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive
There's no
and negative
skipping
results
the ad.
may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard.
I did it my way.
That was it?
and canvass the adjacent fields, the drainage ditches, the area like that.
According to investigators, Harris disappeared without his wallet or keys, and his phone has since been turned off.
That normally doesn't happen, especially in today's day and age. People don't go hardly anywhere without their cell phone.
Former law enforcement officer and current security specialist Roy Smith has covered investigations for over 20 years. He says there's a specific process when it comes to investigations, especially when someone has gone missing.
So you want to try and build that timeline to piece it all together.
Hold on, guys. This isn't, I found what I was looking for. Sorry. Okay. There we go. This is what I was looking for. It's buffering. There we go. I get a little click happy.
The wait is over.
Oh
FanDuel
my
Sportsbook's
God.
now live in North Carolina.
FanDuel makes it so easy to get.
Came home, roommate got a new dog, and so they, from say 10 on, they were playing with the dog, and we've got, we do have some video of them playing with the dog because they sent us video of the dog, sent us pictures of the dog. My son was also a big fisherman, so we'd always swap, fishing ideas and different lures to use, and he was preparing the next afternoon. He had ordered from a convenience store his lunch for the next day, which is very normal, very normal. He's a creature of habit, very normal for him to do that. We got some different chats and Snapchats and stuff. All about 2:58 is when his phone either was turned off or quit working. But he had taken the dog out for a walk and was waiting for his Uber Eats to show up at the front door and put the dog back in, and then we just didn't see him anymore. I mean, the biggest thing is that he was preparing for school, preparing for fishing, preparing, new lease on his apartment, all kinds of things that he's getting ready to do, going to Alaska this summer to work. Just a lot of preparedness he was doing, and that kind of led up to that. It's like any other college-oriented apartment complex. It's real close to the school. It's not a school complex, but most of the residents are kids, and even within across the street and around his apartment are kids that he knows or either grew up on. He kind of vanished. There's no evidence of wrongdoing, but there's no evidence at all. And so it's a matter of looking at every inch, everything we could possibly think of that the police are thinking of. And, we're constantly getting texts that we forward. And so there's a lot of things that we're doing in the background to come up with some clues or some evidence or something that we can grab and go. It is a mystery.
But we know the guy knows exactly where he is, and that he is, we were hoping that he is crying out to him and is recalling scripture and has a hedge of protection around him wherever he is. And it will be revealed to us exactly where he is, and he'll be home safe. I had just seen him that Friday and Saturday before, and he invited me down to go hang out at his fun spots. And so he took me to different places along the beach. He likes to fish, and he likes to be with people and that kind of thing. And so we just, he's fun loving. He is joyful, and he's a very likable person. And so he was certainly fun to be around for a mom. A lot
of character, very would help anybody with anything they needed. He's very loves the outdoors, loves to hunt and fish, and play his guitar, and good kid, great kid.
Mhm.
The Corpus Christi Police Department is doing a phenomenal job. Lots of intervention. They're letting us know what's going on. They're doing a lot of things behind the scenes that they're just doing a great job, and they're trying their best to progress whatever level they possibly can, and we really do appreciate them. And the biggest thing is that we've got so much support.
I agree,
from our
Punket. My mind is
The outpouring of support that we have from the community of people that we are involved in right now. But then not only that, but just the community worldwide that has that are people of faith that believe in Jesus and are praying for him is overwhelming and comforting at the same time.
The family.
I agree, Emily.
Is amazing.
There's a little bit of
We're
denial
thankful
going on.
for all of their support and continued support. We know he's out there, and we're looking forward to seeing him again. And he needs to know, if he happens to see this, that we love him, and he's not in trouble. Police are not after him. Nobody's after him. And no matter what happens, we love him. We want him to be here, ready to go fishing.
We want him home. We want him secure. If you see something, say something, report it, so that, because it's a parent's worst nightmare. And so it's difficult, and there are ups and downs, but we really remain hopeful that he is found and that he will be at home and safe.
I don't know what to think. That was the first time I've seen that. I want them to be right too. I know. I don't know. That just seems so. It's almost like maybe one of those situations where they didn't know every piece of his life that he might have been involved with. I mean, he was a kid. He was away. Let's hope that, let's hope that it's a situation where, but I mean, you're not like 3 days. I mean, we're talking over a week now, right? Like 8 days or something like that. And there's nothing. I know, right? You should have gone to the game with Chris. There's just no direction. But every sign points to that he was getting ready for the next day. But I mean, this is crazy. I don't know, guys. That I guess we'll see it unfold. But look at the Jason Landry case too. Jax introduced me to that once, and it's and Harley Morris. What is on my wall? But I mean, you can't deny some of these things. So I know these are kind of heavy cases, Sebastian especially. I think the most frustrating things about these cases is there's just nothing. There's no clues. It's like they just disappear. And I hope that his parents are right. I mean, I think they're just trying to remain hopeful because of his age, but there's just some really big oddities. But you have another situation though, like his roommate didn't hear anything. I mean, he just vanished. Again, no shoes. Like, it doesn't make sense. But so I'm going to hop off of here because tomorrow, then once Nick releases his thing, I'm going to play his interview and see what we can get out of when he does his deep dive in his interview. And we'll talk about Sebastian again tomorrow, because I think we're about to get some really big updates just because the video is out now. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and we'll dabble into some more true crime. And I appreciate everybody, and I love being back with you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night.